guys, it's Marcy in Education. Today I'm going to teach you about the Lucas device for running a code with automatic compressions. The Lucas would be plugged into the charging station through this back flap, so you'll want to unplug that before you grab it to run. You're going to pull the red zippers, open the case, pull out the backboard. It shows you very clearly where it is positioned. It's relatively high on the patient's back, where the top edge should be about even with the armpits. You can either log roll the patient or sit them up slightly to slide this underneath, and then you'll position the arms up over the patient's head. Pull out the Lucas device and give these yellow rings just one quick tug. That makes sure that these claws are open and ready to attach to the backboard. Click, click. Then you'll press this green button to power it on. Then simply follow the 1, 2, 3 steps. The first step shows a hand on this suction cup to remind you that this is a manual process to pull this down and position it where you want it. It should be positioned right where you would normally do chest compressions, and you should still be able to feel the end of the sternum beyond the cup. It can be positioned directly over the Zoll pads and the Zoll CPR feedback device. Next, you'll push this number 2 button, which creates a suction onto the patient, and the number 3 begins compressions. You'll notice you have 2 choices, either 30 to 2, which pauses compressions for the delivery of breaths, or continuous compressions. Breathe, breathe. Once an advanced airway is established, you can change to continuous compressions. The green light will flash every 6 seconds to remind you to give a breath. The battery light indicator lights up with 3 lights to each represent 15 minutes, so it's a 45-minute battery altogether. The number 2 button pauses at any time to check underlying rhythm or to reposition the puck. You do need to come back and hit number 1. This unlocks this piston so that you could pull it up, reposition the patient, reposition the puck underneath whatever, pull it back down. Now that you're on number 1, you do need to go to number 2 to create the suction before you go to number 3 to start compressions. In the event that this code is longer than 45 minutes and you need to change batteries, you just pull this battery up and out, pull the new one off of the spare battery charger and slide it in. Continue. There are size limitations to the Lucas device. Some patients are too big, some patients are too small. So if the patient is too big, you would know this because when you fit them in it, if the chest wall is already touching the suction cup before you can even pull it down, that patient's too big. However, most patients, when you lift their arms above their head, even our more obese patients, there is room to get it around their upper chest. There are patients who are too small. If you go to pull the suction cup down and it makes this noise, that patient is too small. Too big or too small, you have to remove the Lucas and go back to manual chest compressions. On each side there are wrist straps. These are primarily used for long transport times, and EMS uses them frequently. The patient's wrists could be attached to the Lucas like this for transport, so that the patient is more in this position than this. There's also available a neck strap, also used primarily for long transports, but it goes around the patient's neck and then attaches on each side. At the end of the code vent, you can power it off with the green button. This suction cup part is disposable. Some places are cleaning them to reuse them for several codes in a row. It kind of depends on the code. There is a spare in the case, and you can order more replacement parts. When you're finished, pull on those yellow rings to release it, close it up, and put it back in the case with the charger port facing down. The charger port from your wall should plug in here. Keep them charged and ready.